Hi folks, this is Tom with AlumiGlo Lighting. Today I'm going to talk to you about our GTX 22000. This is the brightest Flounder and Bullynetting light that we make. Puts out a total of 22,000 lumens altogether and it's smoking bright. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the difference between this and the Flounder Pro 13,000, which has 3 of the 40 watt cobs. So you got a 40 watt, and the 13,000 has another one of these 30 watt lights right in the center. So the 40 watt lights are 60 degree beam angle. So that means they put out 60 degrees and 60 degrees. And on the 13,000 be another 60. So that gives you 3 lights. There's a little bit of shadow in between those lights though, because they are 60 degree and not 120. So 2 reasons this light's so much brighter. Number one, the center light right here is 120 watts all by itself. And you got 40 and 40, so that gives you a total of 200 watts. Not only is this a lot brighter light than these 2 on the side, but it's also 120 degrees. So that means it throws out a 120 degree angle light all by itself. Really just one of these lights, this one right here, is going to give you more coverage than 3 of these smaller lights just because of the cone of the angle of the lens. So now you got 120 degree plus 60 and 60 and 120 watts versus a 40 watt. It gives you a lot brighter light. So this is 22,000 lumens versus 13,000. So it is a lot brighter light. There is a downside to it. In order to get this light so much brighter, we have to use an external driver. Now these small lights, 40 watt cobs, they have an internal driver because they're really small. And we can put that driver on the inside. But this is a 120 watt light, and so it does have to have this larger outside driver. And what drivers do basically, folks, is they in our case anyway, they increase the voltage of the lights from 12 or 24 volts up to 36. And in this case, actually bumps it up even a little bit more than that. These run about 42 volts. This big light does. So that's how we get so much brightness out of this light using the LEDs we do. So with this light you do have 2 power cords. You got one power cord which is 25 foot with battery clips for the 2 outside lights, and then you got another 25 foot cord with the driver for the big center light. There's no way around that. So you can't combine the 2. You can't eliminate one of the cords and splice them together. You can't do that. You have to have 2 power cords, and this big light has to have that driver. You can't use this driver on the small lights. 1 driver per big light. So we've had people ask, well, can you use 2 of these lights with 1 driver? No. 1 light, 1 driver. That's just how it is. So you're gonna have to run 2 cords back to your battery. And there's just no way around that, and that's how we get the brightness out of this light. Now the center light, like I said, is 120 watts, and it's smoking bright, 120 degrees, and between the 3 of them, you're going to light up everything you really need to light up in front and really to the sides of your boat. There's really no reason you ever need more light than this, folks. I mean, it's really bright. So this kit comes with the light kit. Comes with the aluminum frame that these are mounted on, which I'll tell you about here in just a second. It comes with 2 25 foot power cords, 2 sets of battery clips, and this driver. Now the mounting bracket that the lights are mounted on is all aluminum. And we used to make a PVC bracket, and because PVC has gone up so much and the cost of putting it together labor-wise has gone up, so we made this new bracket out of aluminum. It's powder-coated aluminum, so there's nothing to rust. The hardware on it is stainless steel, so that's not going to rust either. Plus it's a lot easier to be honest with you, to replace lights and everything else. So all these lights, all of our lights, the small lights and the big light, all have threads on the back of them. If you're not familiar with their lights, you can go to the individual lights are called the Flounder Pro 4400. You can check that out. And the big light is called the GTX 13,000. So you can look at the videos on those if you want to. But they all have threads. So these lights simply just slide into this bracket, and we use a PVC nut on the back to tighten up against that frame, and that's all there is to it. To remove the lights, you just loosen that nut, and you just pull the light out. Now with that said, I just want to caution everybody, boats jiggle around and jar around, so every now and then check these PVC nuts and make sure they're tight. We don't want lights coming loose, you know, after a month or so and lights falling off. So just make sure you check that every now and then to make sure they're good and tight. Now the only other thing we do not include with this light kit is the center shaft. So this center shaft is how you're going to mount the light. Now let me turn this around so you can kind of see better. This is also aluminum. So this is it's an aluminum shaft here. It comes up that holds the 1.25" PVC. So when you get the light, the first thing you're going to have to do is buy a piece of 1.25" PVC and cut it to the length you want. We used to include a 4-foot piece of PVC with our light kits, but it was either too short for some people or too long for some people. Some bass boats sit 10 inches off the water, and a 4-foot piece of PVC sticking up was just too much. And we got some people use them on pontoon boats, and a 4-foot piece of PVC is too short. So it's easier and cheaper, to be honest with you, for both of us, if you just go to the hardware store. It costs about $12–13 for an 8-foot piece of 1.25" PVC and cut it to the length you want. You know, whatever depth of water you're typically in, you know, if you're in 3 foot of water, you're going to go 3 foot from the bottom up to the top of the surface, and then whatever it is from the top of the surface up to the top bow of your boat, you're going to add that, and then however much you want to stick up above the bow of the boat, and that's how long your shaft's going to be. Once you get that cut, you're going to come back. Now all these power cords, all the drivers, all the clips, all have waterproof plugs on them. So everything just pulls apart and disconnects. They're kind of hard to pull apart sometimes. So I've had people call and say, well, I can't get it apart. Well, you got to put some muscle into it. They do just pull apart. They got 3 O-rings on it. They pull apart and they'll push back together. They're completely waterproof. You don't have to do anything with them. The lights are totally waterproof. You don't have to do anything with those. But you gotta pull apart. The first thing you gotta do though when you get it is you gotta run your cords obviously up through your PVC. So you're gonna run the cords all up through the PVC, and then the PVC shaft is going to slide down with the cords in it. It's going to slide all the way down to the base of that bracket. So all the way down to the base. So sometimes the screws are a little tightened in. Make sure you loosen them up. Make sure this PVC goes all the way down into that bracket. And then just tighten these T-bolts good and tight. And that's all there is to mount that light. Now the only other thing is we sell this light with or without our mounting bracket. Some people make their own mounting bracket, and that's fine. Some people buy ours. Either one works fine. This mounting bracket is two-piece bracket. You just pull the pin out. It's 2 pieces. This piece mounts to the front bow of the boat, just like that, and that stays on your boat. And this piece obviously is the piece that the PVC is going to slide into, and that allows you to raise and lower the light, and also turn the light 360 degrees if you want to. Once you get the light set where you want it, you just tighten this T-bolt and that light's good to go. So there are advantages to using this kind of a bracket, just simply because it does give the ability to raise and lower the light and turn it, you know, any direction you want to. But a lot of people, we probably sell half with the bracket and half without. So a lot of people come up with their own ideas of doing it, and that's great. So once you get it where you want it, then obviously you're just going to stick that pin back in it, and you're good to go. So when you go to check out, it's going to say with bracket or without bracket, and that's the reason why. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Like I say, these are 40-watt lights on the outside. Each put out 4,400 lumens. This is a 120-watt light. And puts out 13,000 lumens by itself, and so you got a total of 22,000 lumens. If you got any questions on anything about this light, this is the brightest and the best light that's out there, folks. So I know it costs a little bit more money, but if you got the money and you want to spend the money, it's a great light. There's one other thing. I encourage everybody to go to our website and go to the blog page or frequently asked questions. It's the same page. There's an article on there about batteries and battery runtime. This light takes some juice, so you got to have a good battery or batteries to power this light, folks. So there's an article on there that tells all about how to calculate runtime for your battery, and so the lights are only as good as what the batteries are. So take a look at that and make sure you got the batteries to power it, and you should be good to go. If you got any questions about this light or any of our lights, give us a call. Number 785-621-2646. And until the next video, keep on fishing.